Okay, so I'm not filming this video in the way that I kind of wanted to because one, we're not looking the best right now. You'll be able to hear from just my voice, we're not well. I still wanted to film this video, so that's what I'm doing. I'm staying in my hoodie, but I have actually just put makeup on just to film this video, so... Oh, I just realised I haven't put mascara on or eyeliner. I was like, wait, why do I look so weird? Let's fix that, okay? Alright, let's just start this video again. Hi. It's the time of the year. You'll probably be able to tell by everyone doing the same video, but it's time for the yearly favourites, okay? It's time to talk about all the makeup that I've been obsessed with for the entire year. Just a bunch of favourites that I just reach for and I have been reaching for over the past year and that I'm just obsessed with and I feel like everybody needs in their life. I apologise for being pretty much a corpse because I'm just not feeling very well. We're a bit run down at the moment, but I still wanted to do this video. Yes, we're in a hoodie. I have not changed today. I haven't even put deodorant on today, not gonna lie to you. So yeah, anyway, grab your beverage as always. We've got orange juice. This is what I need right now. Relax and enjoy the video. So I pretty much got two baskets here and I'm just going to start talking about everything that I'm obsessed with, and I'm kind of going to go in the order of me doing my makeup. We are going to skip brows just because if you watch my videos regularly, you know I don't change how I do my brows. I've been doing them the same probably for like a year, maybe a bit more than a year now, and I use my Patrick Tar little soap brows. I guess this will be a yearly favourite though because I have been using this and it's all I use really. And then sometimes if I want to add a bit of extra like brow hairs and stuff into there just to thicken my brows a little bit, then I will just add some of the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. That's all we do for brows and that has been just my combination for a while. So I think we'll start with the eyes. So first thing I have to talk about is this eye primer that has just... It's kind of taken over my P. Louise eyeshadow base, even though I do like to mix this with that. So this is from e.l.f. So you already know it's super affordable. It's called the Shadow Lock Eye Primer and it's basically just a little doe foot. It kind of looks like a concealer situation and it's just kind of this pink like clear like consistency. That's all it looks like and it is just one of the best primers I've ever used, not gonna lie. Like it's so affordable and it's so good. It really does make your eyeshadow last longer. And I just love how easy it is to apply. You can literally just dot it on your eyelids. I blend it out with my finger or a brush. You can use either. And honestly, it does genuinely work and I just love how affordable it is. So simple as that. It's a great eye primer. Very easily accessible as well. So that's that. So as far as eyeshadow goes, I haven't been experimenting that much with eyeshadow this year, not gonna lie to you. I feel like for me, I don't know about anyone else, but like this year has just been very comfortable. Like I've just kind of stuck with simple things and I just kind of like what I'm comfortable with basically. I kind of started off the year in a positive way in the sense of, you know, I came back from the hospital early last year and I did a big clear out of my makeup. I've done the same right now. I'm in the process of doing another clear out. And I need to minimise my makeup collection. A lot of my makeup needs to go. Like, I need to simplify everything pretty much. I feel like kind of my makeup taste this year has it kind of fits in with that. Just simple, basically. So I've got 4 eyeshadow palettes, which I feel like usually I would have a lot more, but these are just my go-tos. 3 of them really, I keep kind of in my desk drawer or just around me. So let me tell you what they are. I feel like the first one is going to be no surprise. Literally, if you've been watching me, even from the start of this year, I keep saying this year, I mean 2021. The start of the year, this guy has been it for me. This is the Colourpop Mandalorian palette. This is the first one that they came out with, I think maybe 2 years ago now. So it's more of the green tones and honestly, you look at this and you're like, Maumina, hun, do you really use these colours? Honestly, I don't use the greens. Everything else I pretty much use. The greens, unless I'm doing a specific green look, I ain't gonna touch them, not gonna lie. Yes, I'm biased because this is one of my favourite TV shows. I love the size of the palette. I also love the other Mandalorian one. But honestly, this peachy pink shade here, I use it almost every day. If I'm wearing eyeshadow, you best bet I've got this on. I have this mixed in with the eyeshadow that I'm wearing now, but I use one of the other palettes that I'm going to talk about. But yeah, this is just kind of one of those go-to shades that I just always need, and it's just, It's just like a necessary transition colour for like any eyeshadow palette. But this palette in general, it's got a gold, it's got like a silver, it's got just a nice dark brown. I like to use this for like winged eyeliner and just stuff like that. I still use it, I still reach for it pretty much every day. Hence why I keep it in this drawer right here. So we love that. Obviously I love the other Mandalorian palette as well. The second palette that I've been using a lot as well this year is this guy. And I feel like this is not talked about enough, or these little palettes in general. So this is from LA Girl, and this is their Keep It Playful eye palette, and this one is in the shade Downplay. Like, just look at the tones in here. Like, this is a very cool tone smoky palette, but if you also just look at the mattes, this is the perfect palette for just your everyday eye look. You've got your transition colours up here, you've got like a bone white colour, you've got a black, and then you've got some nice shimmery shades as well if you do want to, you know, add a bit of shimmer on a daily basis. And I don't know why people don't talk about these palettes because, well, I've only used this one, I've only tried this one, I don't need any more palettes. We're limiting that, alright? But this is the one that I got, and honestly the formula is so good, and it's LA Girl, it's affordable as well. And yeah, that's one thing that I did want to do kind of from the start of last year anyway, was go for a lot more affordable options and kind of experiment more with affordable makeup. I'm definitely going to continue with that as well. And I feel like this is one of those really good finds that I've found this year. The formula, like I said, really buttery, soft, and really long lasting as well. Like the mattes are very, very good as well on the eye. And yeah, again, very good palette, and obviously if you're traveling anywhere, it's a perfect size to just throw in your bag and take around with you. So alright, then kind of up in the price a little bit, we have this guy here. Again, no surprise if you've been watching my videos. This is from Artist Couture, and this is the Supreme Bronze palette. So I think I have talked about this quite a bit, not gonna lie. It may have already been in the favorites video, or I know I've definitely used it in one of my recent videos as well. But yeah, this is just, again, one of those palettes I always reach for. Look at the colours. They're just shades that, for me personally, I'm always going to use, I'm always going to reach for, and I'm always going to need. Like, I always just need those nice brown transition colours, the simple shades. They're just the staple shades that I always need. For me, Artist Couture is one of those brands that I will not have a problem spending money on. I don't have a problem investing in this brand because every single thing I've tried from them has been so good. And yes, they are a high-end brand. Yes, they're not as easy to get hold of because they are like US based, but for me they're that good. I do recommend them, and I do recommend ordering from the site if you can. The shipping isn't terrible as well from the States, and honestly for me they're just worth it because I love the brand and the products are so, so good. For me, Artist Couture is just like, the eyeshadows are 100% some of the best eyeshadows I've ever used, period. They're so good, and they're just those eyeshadows that, I know I've said this before when I've talked about them, but they're just those eyeshadows that, like, you don't need to work with much. You can literally just blend them a little bit for a few seconds and then your eye look is done. Like, they're that soft and creamy that you don't have to do any work. So yes, always Artist Couture, always. Then we have a newer favourite of mine that has just kind of been introduced towards the end-ish of the year, or maybe around Halloween actually. It's been a good few months to be fair. But this, again, this is such a good investment. There's been tons of sales, and I feel like you can get this for pretty cheap now. It is limited edition. So this is from Jade Thirlwall. She's one of the girls from Little Mix. And she collabed with Beauty Bay and made this absolute monster of a palette. Honestly, it's great. Like, you have every colour under the sun you're ever gonna need, really. Have I used every single shade in this palette? No. But yeah, it's got everything you need in here. You can see the shades that I've gravitated towards and that I've kind of used, and I've just literally used the shit out of. It's such a nice palette. I did take it when I travelled recently. I told you guys I was gonna take this. I genuinely did. I took this, it was in the suitcase, it came with me. I was so surprised with the formula because I have used Beauty Bay's own eyeshadows before. The formula wasn't the best. I think it was good for how much you're kind of paying for them because they are pretty affordable. But this palette, it hit differently. Like, the formula is completely different to like their other eyeshadows, and this is like high-end shit. Like, so good. Like, the quality is so much better than the other palettes in my opinion, so it's definitely worth the investment, and it's such a good palette. Like, look at it, look at the variation of colour you've got there. So yeah, this was the final palette that I've definitely loved and been obsessed with for the year. I guess we'll get mascara out of the way. We'll kind of get the boring bits, then we can get on to face. So mascara wise, I was just thinking before when I was looking in my drawer, there has not been a single mascara this year that has fully blown me away. Are we surprised? Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I don't know how many of these I've gone through now. It will always be my favourite mascara. Nothing, I don't think anything can ever beat this, honestly. So yes, once again, this has made it into my yearly favourites, and it just, dude, I'm trying to work. Like, nothing will ever come between us, okay? Like, we're just, this is a long-term relationship here. Like, we're good for life, okay? We're set. The other mascara that I think has kind of come, not even close, but just, I saw it in my drawer and I was like, ooh, that is a good mascara this year. So this is from e.l.f. and this is their Big Mood Mascara. This formula is no joke. Like, it is pretty good, and as far as affordable mascaras go, probably apart from the Body Collection one that I do really love, this is probably one that I was like, okay, it's made a mark. So this is a very volumizing mascara. This is the one that I have just thrown on now so you can see it in full effect right now. But it's a very wet formula, but I think if you just keep building it up, it just kind of thicken up and it does dry down. But it is a very voluminous mascara, but it's also very lengthening as well. Me personally, we know I've luckily got very long eyelashes, so length isn't something I really look for. I just want a bit of thickness and volume. So yeah, this is a very good mascara for that. e.l.f. have come out with a couple of the mascaras I think this year. For me, the Big Mood is the one that's done it, and I think it's definitely worth trying if you are in the market for a new mascara. So okay, so let's move on to Complexion, because I think we're pretty much done there about primers, but this is gonna be very, very quick because I have done a kind of top 3 in every category video. So if you haven't seen that, I'll leave a link to it in the description box and you can watch that as well, because that's got a lot of my holy grails, or pretty much all my holy grails in anyway. I do want to give an honourable mention to this guy, the Smashbox primerizer. I have gone through that. I do need to get another one because it is one of my favourites, but I need to use up the primers I've got. They need to get gone. I've always loved it, so that is always going to be a favourite of mine. But apart from that, we also have my Fenty Beauty Hydrating, what's it called? The Soft Silk Hydrating Primer. This is pricier. Again, it's kind of similar to the Smashbox like price range, I'd say. I think this has been in my favourites now for the 2nd year running, maybe. It will blur your skin and it will hydrate it at the same time. And it's just the perfect balance of those two things. Yes, it's pricey, but it's an investment that I think is worth it. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about this too much because I have talked about it before and it's been in my favourites videos before. And my other favourite is this guy. So this has been making appearances on my channel for a good few months and it always will. This is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. So this is obviously more affordable than the other two. But yeah, this has become one of my favourite primers ever. And it is the most tacky but hydrating primer on the market in my opinion. It beats the Milk Makeup one, it beats e.l.f.'s other primer, which is their Mint Melt one. I think I've given that away now. Like, this is it for me. Like, this gives you the perfect glow. It makes your makeup last all day because it is so sticky, but it's not too sticky where, like, you just can't, like, spread your makeup, if that makes sense. Because, like, there are some primers that are just too sticky, or, like, the consistency isn't right. They don't pair up with foundation, or they just kind of ball up a little bit. This honestly just works with everything, and it works with your skin so well, and it works with your skincare. That's another thing that I've noticed with these kind of like sticky jelly primers. It makes your face look so fresh that honestly, even if you weren't wearing makeup, this is something you can just put on your skin and it'll just look like glass. Hold on, have I only got 2? Okay, I've got 3. But actually, before we get into foundations, I want to give this guy a shout out. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and this is in the shade Tan. So I would 100% get a lighter shade of this next time, but I did kind of get it for more of like a bronzy kind of thing. So I like putting this where I apply my bronzer. That's why I did get a deeper shade. But now I've tried this, I would love to get a lighter shade so I can just put it everywhere on my face, even though I kind of already do with this. Yes, it's pricey, but again, this is something that is 100% worth spending your money on. Kind of when I do my yearly favourites, this is when I like to talk about more of the expensive stuff as well, because these are stuff that have stuck with me throughout the entire year that I always reach for. So like, you know that these are worth spending your money on because I have been using these non-stop. So this is something that you put kind of after you've done your primer, underneath your foundation, or even if you're not wearing any makeup really. This is something you can just put everywhere just for an overall glow. It is honestly just the most lightweight formula, and it'll just give you the nicest overall glow. I'll like put a bit on my hand so you can kind of see. You can see there, like obviously this is a deeper shade, but like I said, I like to put this kind of where I'd apply my bronzer. And honestly, it is so good underneath your makeup. Like you can see the difference in pictures when you've got this on. Like I can 100% tell a difference. I know when I'm wearing this. If I've seen a picture of myself, I'm like, yes, she's got Charlotte Tilbury on under there. I can tell. It blurs your skin and it just gives a nice overall glow. And I feel like it kind of helps to prolong how your makeup looks throughout the night as well. All right, foundations. So I've only got 2, 3. So like I said, this year, it's just all about simple. So I've just got some very natural foundations here. One of them is an oil actually. So this is from the brand Kosas, and this is their Tinted Face Oil. Honestly, has probably been the most used product I'd say of mine for the year. Like this. No, I remember. So my old work, when I kind of came out of hospital, they wanted to get me something to kind of cheer me up. And I told like my best friend, I was like, look, I want this face oil. It's pricey, it's an investment, but this is what I want. This is what my skin needs. And they came through and they actually got this for me, so it reminds me of my old work, which is kind of cute. My skin was kind of adapting to like all the new medication that I've been on, and at the beginning it was very, I mean it still is, my skin's just gone really, really dry now, so an oil was perfect. So it's a tinted face oil like I said, and it is honestly just so glowy, so natural, and it just looks so nice throughout the day. It doesn't get super oily and greasy, like, I know it's an oil, but it doesn't make you look greasy. It just keeps that dew all over your face for the entire day. And like I said, for me, for someone that has dry skin now, like I don't have any issues with this. Obviously, if you're an oily skin person, probably not going to be your thing, but you know that. I feel like there isn't actually many products like this at the drugstore. Again, it is more pricier, so it is kind of an investment. Yes, there's tinted moisturizers, there's CC creams, all that kind of stuff, but like a tinted face oil like this, I haven't seen one. If there is, please let me know. I'd love to try it. For me, Kosas have killed it with that. So this one here is from Bare Minerals, and this is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Hydrating Foundation Stick. This is perfect for every day, and I love this because I'm so lazy. I'm so tired. When I don't feel like wearing makeup, which is pretty much every day, to be honest, this is my perfect everyday foundation that I just, when I need a bit more coverage and I just don't want this, I just want a bit more coverage, this is what I'll go for. Use the shade Dune, which is 7.5 in this. So that's what the foundation stick looks like, and it is honestly the most hydrating foundation stick that I've ever used. I haven't used that many in the past, but this, just the formula is so soft and so creamy, and it honestly just feels like a liquid, and it's in a stick form, but it feels like a liquid. It wears really nicely throughout the day. It doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look dry, and it honestly looks so natural. It kind of doesn't look like you're wearing much. It's definitely a medium coverage, like it's light to medium. It's not a full coverage foundation, it is definitely more on the more natural side, but like I said, that's what I've been liking, and that's what I've stuck with. Alright, then my final favourite foundation is the NYX Born to Glow foundation. Honestly, I think this is my favourite foundation ever. I think this has genuinely topped my Beauty Bakery foundation, just for the fact that it's the perfect shade for me. Like honestly, I couldn't have picked a more perfect foundation match than this. Beauty Bakery one is my beloved foundation. It's very full coverage, but honestly it's just immaculate. There is no faults with that foundation apart from the packaging of it. I'm just not a big fan, but the shade that I got was just the wrong shade, and I don't want to buy another one because it's expensive. Don't use that as much as I'd like to, just because I can't be able to mix in like a lighter foundation. I've got this. I don't even know how to explain it. It's honestly just everything that I want in a foundation. It's natural, but it's also buildable to full coverage. and it just leaves the nicest glow on your skin. It wears so well throughout the day. It just holds up so well throughout the day and still just looks naturally radiant, which is literally what it's called. And that is exactly what it is. The formula on this is honestly magic. Like, I could not bang on about this foundation enough. I know I've had it in favorites videos before, but she's made it to this one, and this is the most important favorites video. So honestly, I think out of everything, if there's one thing I want you to try, it's this foundation. If it sounds like something you'd want, obviously, 100% try it. It's what I'm wearing today. That's what I put on. Chef's kiss. I love this foundation so much. But concealer wise, I haven't discovered that many new concealers. I've still got my Jouer Essential High Coverage Concealer. This is always a favorite of mine. I also did want to mention my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue Concealer, but that is currently in my empties bin at the moment because I've gone through that one, but I just kind of want to run down my other concealers. I just don't talk about them, and I feel like I don't show them on camera that much just because you know I love this. She is a ride or die of mine. But another new one for this year, I'd say, is the Il Makiage Fuck I'm Flawless Concealer. So this is a newer brand to me this year, and this is the only thing I've tried from them, and they killed it. This is a concealer that I've got on today, and this is honestly exactly what it's called. It is flawless. It blends out like that. You don't need your brush. You can tap it like twice and it'll be blended out. It is such a thin like concealer formula, but it just it blends out just so easily, so effortlessly that you don't gotta work when you've got this concealer. Like honestly, it blends out so nicely and it looks so good under the skin, under the eyes. And yeah, like I said, that's the concealer that I've got on. I kind of brought it down a bit and I've got it to highlight. Really good all around, great concealer. Alright, powder wise, again, don't have much, but the Kimchi Chic powder is the loose powder that has done it for me, I think, this year. So this is a powder that I've realised that I've had on my desk, and I haven't really switched out my powders that much because I've been obsessed with this. So this is their Puff Pass loose powder. And the shade that I've got is Peachy, but it just kind of looks like a translucent shade. But yeah, like I said, it's in the shade Peachy. And this formula reminds me of more of a lightweight version of the Fenty Pro Filter Setting Powder. Like that, if you have a really oily skin, I'd go for Fenty because that is gonna lock in all the moisture. It's gonna lock in all the oil, all the moisture, everything, not gonna budge. This I think is equally as good, but I think this is a bit more breathable. So I think if you've got more kind of like normal to dry skin like me, I'd say the Kimchi one is probably a bit better than the Fenty one, just because that is so hardcore that like you can't breathe when you've got that powder on. But like it does its thing, it does its job, it locks everything in place. But for me personally, I want something a tiny bit more hydrated and a tiny bit more lightweight. So that's why I've been reaching for the Kimchi one a lot more. But yeah, this is probably my favourite powder that I've used this year. Then we have this. So this, we've hit pan on this, and I've been banging on about this probably for the past like month, I'd say, in like my more recent videos. But this is something that I've always had in my drawer, and I never started to reach for it until a few months ago. I'd probably say around October time. I literally just forgot how much of a good product this is. So this is from Charlotte Tilbury again, and this is the Airbrush Flawless Finishing Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. So in this one I use the shade 2, which is medium, and it's just the perfect shade for me. I use this to set my under eyes and just to kind of put kind of on my cheeks to just kind of like blur out this area here. And honestly, when I use this powder, I don't need a loose powder as well. It is just that good. It smooths your skin and honestly just makes you look so flawless. Like that's the powder that I've got under my eyes and like around here today. I didn't put any loose powder. I've literally just got the Charlotte powder on, and I love it. Honestly, if there's anything from Charlotte Tilbury that I think that you might, you know, Charlotte Tilbury, it is a expensive, it's not even high end. I'd say it's more like a luxury brand, high end / luxury. And I feel like if you're just thinking about Charlotte Tilbury, a bit on the fence about the brand, you don't know whether you want to spend your money on it, I'd say this is 100% something that everyone needs to try from Charlotte Tilbury. I don't care what kind of skin you have, if you have normal, dry, combo, oily, I don't care. This is something that everybody needs in my opinion because it is honestly just so good. It is that good, and I feel like it can honestly just transform anyone's makeup look. If you're more of a natural person, this can still just blur everything out, make it look very natural still. Alright, guys, I know this video is going to be long. I apologise. Just bear with me, bear with me. We're like halfway through, or like even 3/4 of the way through now. So we're getting there, we're getting there. Let's talk about some cream products, okay? Because 2021 was the year for kind of cream, bronzer and blush just taking over pretty much. For bronzer, I've got 3 different bronzers to talk about here. So, you know what, I may as well just go with bronzer and blush because they're both from the same brand. These are both from the brand Cash Beauty. So this is a Irish makeup artist's makeup brand. And she came out with these Sculpt Stick. Pretty sure there's 3 bronzers and 3 blushes. This is the lightest bronzer of the ones that she has. This one is in the shade Shady Beach. Honestly, the light one works for me. And that's the bronzer that I've got on today. Honestly, the formula is so soft, so creamy. I love the packaging and it's just really, really easy to work with and very easy to blend. I think that's something that people kind of worry about. I think when it comes to cream makeup, they're like, ooh, is it gonna blend? I'll stick to my powders, I'm not sure. These are just something that are really good for beginners or just people that worry about, ooh, will I be able to blend it? So, yes. 10 out of 10 for the formula. So that is the bronzer that I've been using probably the most. And then blush wise, this again is probably the most used blush I'd say that I've been using this year. I use this a lot off camera as well. And I think I've said this before, but this is basically the cream blush version of Luminoso from Milani. And this one is in the shade Poppin' Peach. So again, this is from Cash Beauty. And that is the shade there. So it's a nice like pinky... It's like a nice light pinky nude, but it's got like gold reflex in it as well. I like the fact that the blush has a bit of like a glow and I don't have to put highlight on, so. Next we have the eyebrow concealer from Makeup Revolution, and this one is in the shade Toffee. I talk about this way too much, so like I'm not even gonna touch this. I basically talk about this in every single video. It's in the shade Toffee. And it's basically like the Charlotte Tilbury like wand, you know, they're like the contour wand. It's basically the same thing, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I shouldn't say that. That's inaccurate information because I've never tried that, so I can't compare it. But it's that kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Like the sponge applicator. And for me, like the shade of this, it's in the shade Toffee. Alright, then we have more of a newer favourite of mine, but honestly, I have not been able to stop using this bronzer for probably, I'd say 3 months. I think around October, I think that's when I got this. So this is from a newer brand to me. They're called Saie. I think that's how you say it. It's S-A-I-E. This is their Sunmelt Natural Cream Bronzer, and this one is in the shade Medium. This formula is like perfection. It's so soft and so creamy, but it is so long lasting, I can't even explain. This will not budge on your skin, this will stay there. And I think the shade is honestly perfect. That perfect like brownie tone that you can contour but also bronze with this. And that's why I'm so obsessed with it, and I can't stop using it. I've still been using it off camera so much. And I just think I haven't talked about it that much. This is definitely up there. The next 2 are creams, and then we'll move on to a couple powders. So the next favourite of mine that I've been using a lot this year is from Colourpop, and this is one of their blush sticks, and this one is in the shade Cottage Life. So that's the shade there. It's not a shade that you haven't seen before. It's just kind of that nice warm brownie pink. This is just one of those all around good blushes that I love to use. These are my favourite toned blushes that I like. So that's been a favourite, as well as this, which I think this is actually taken over. And this is the cream blush that I've got on today. So this is from Revolution, and this is their Fast Base Blush, and this one is in the shade Bear. This, I'd say, is very close to the Cash Beauty one in like how much I've been using it. Very, very similar. It's kind of similar to the Colourpop one actually, and these are so good. Like, I'd get all the colours of these. I honestly love it. The formula is perfect. Like, it's so soft, very buttery, very creamy, very, very blendable. and you can see there, like, it leaves like a really nice glow. I've got no highlight on or anything, so you can see what it leaves. It just gives a really nice flush of colour, but also a really nice glow as well. So yeah, these Revolution blushes are really great. Oh, I'm getting tired. Alright, then we've got powdered blush and bronzer. I've only got like one of each. So this one here is a little bronzer palette. This is from the brand Alamar Cosmetics, and this is the Hydrating Complexion Trio, and this is the, I think this is the medium one. So yeah, there's two bronzers in here and then this like highlighting kind of banana powder. Honestly, I use all of these, and these two bronzers are honestly some of the nicest bronzers I've ever used. I've ever used. They are a Miami based brand as well, and honestly, killed it. Their lip liners, killed it. Blush palette, killed it. Love the brand so much, but I think the bronzers is honestly what's really stuck out for me this year. I've been non-stop using these, so it's not a brand that is that easy to get hold of unless you genuinely like want to invest and you want to pay the extra shipping. So for that reason, I don't talk about them that much, but then I feel like I should talk about them more, because the more people then shop them, the more they can expand, and they might be able to be more easily accessible to the UK. So you know what? Try the brand. They are a great brand, and honestly, formula. Alright, then for powder blush, I'd say this is just the one that's killed it for me again. This is the Milani Baked Blush in Bellissimo Bronze. I'm pretty sure this was in my favourites video for 2020, I'm pretty sure. And I honestly fell in love with it, and I'm still in love with this so much. I just think that these baked formula blushes are just so good. So we've just got lips to cover, but I quickly just wanted to mention like my two favourite brushes. That these are expensive, okay? These are two pricey brushes, but I think that they are definitely worth mentioning, and I think they are definitely worth investing in 100%. The first brush is my favourite ride or die foundation brush to ever exist. It is from It Cosmetics, and it's called the Love is the Foundation brush, and it just looks like this. It's kind of shaped like a heart, but it's nice and domed as well, as you can see. So I'm pretty sure I got this from Selfridges, but I think Cult Beauty may have it, I'm not sure. I know, it's ridiculous for a makeup brush, I know. I might have two of them as well, but this one, I got the wrong one. This isn't the one. The domed one is the one you want. This is the difference. They have this flat one here, which, yeah, it's good, but the domed one is the one that you need. You can tell from the handle anyway, this one kind of has the floaty stuff in. It's just so perfect, and I honestly love it. I use this all the time. It's my most washed brush because I just like to use it for everything. Then we have this brush here. This is from Fenty, and this is the 125 face brush. So this is kind of like a angled like cream bronzer blush brush, whatever you want to use it for. You can even use it for your foundation, your concealer, whatever you want. I like to use this for my cream blush. I've used it today. That's what I've used to apply my blush. But yeah, I like to use it for my cream blush, and I just think it just has the nicest bristles, and it's got like the perfect like density for blending out like cream products. Shout out to this brush as well, because I don't feel like there's many like affordable brushes that are like this shape and like have like this density to them. You know what I mean? We're nearly there. We just have lips, okay? I forgot to mention eyeliner. My favourite eyeliner, of course, this year, the NYX Epic Ink eyeliner. If you haven't tried this, run to Boots, run to Superdrug, grab one of these right now, because if you're like me, if you can't do eyeliner, this basically does it for you. You don't have to do anything. This is just done. Like, you don't have to do anything. It doesn't run out when you're like in the middle of doing your eyeliner and then you're like, oh shit, there's no ink left. Honestly, so easy. So I wanted to give that a quick mention because that has been a lifesaver this year. We've got some lip products to talk about here, and I've actually got quite a few. Lip liner wise, Alamar Cosmetics, again, they have killed it for their lip liners. I have two different ones. I have Birthday Suit and Dulce. They are the two that I have, and honestly the formula is so long lasting and they are just beautiful. And then my other favourite is from Colourpop, and this is their Lippy Pencil, and this one is in the shade BFF. This is the lip liner that I've got underneath my lipstick today, but I did kind of use it all around my lips. And this is one of those lip liners that like, I will just use this when I'm not wearing any like lipstick or any gloss or anything on top. Like, I'll just use this as my lipstick pretty much, and I love it. Very comfortable, very long lasting as well. So if you're placing an order on the Colourpop website, make sure BFF is in your basket. I think it might be in my bedroom because I did travel with it. Oh no, I brought it back. My ultimate favourite, of course, has to make it into this video. Look at her. Look how tiny she is now. So this is this is my favourite lip liner to ever exist. This is Cafe from LA Girl. Honestly, this lip liner right here just, it makes me so happy. It brings me so much comfort just because I use this so much and I have a very strong attachment to this lip liner. Like, I honestly love it so much. It's ridiculous. Everyday brownie nude, pinky nude lip liner, and the formula for me is like just the best. Very long lasting, very creamy for a pencil as well. 3 years, these have just been my favourite lip liners ever. So, NYX, again, I feel like they're kind of a repeat, but their soft matte lip creams are just always a favourite of mine. Abu Dhabi and London are always the two that I always use. I like to keep London in like my desk. So comfortable, and I think that's why they are just always just in reach for me, because some days I can't be bothered putting lip liner on. You don't need to with these, you can just whack them on and you're good to go. They dry down very quickly, but they're not too dry where you just need to keep moisturising your lips, and they are super affordable. So then we have probably a lipstick that I just feel like this is kind of one that I kind of use behind the scenes a lot. Like I don't really talk about this on camera too much. I don't know why, but this is from Oma Beauty and this is the lipstick in the shade Eartha. This is perfect. This is one of the most perfect like brownie nude lipsticks ever. Like a soft pink, but also like a brownie nude as well. Like just look at that color. The formula is so great, and for like a bullet lipstick, I'd say this is the most long-lasting bullet lipstick I've ever used. These don't go anywhere. 100% the most long-lasting lipsticks I've used. Also, I love the packaging. Like, it's a magnet close. I love that. If I ever created a lipstick, this is the packaging that I would have. Like 100% like this. Just that magnet. Oh, I love it. Then we have 3 more to go through. So I then have Artist Couture. This is the lipstick in the shade Saucy Gal. Can you see a theme with like the shades that I've got here? But yeah, again, perfect brownie nude. It is just, oh, look at it. Kind of the same thing. The formula is kind of similar with all of these in the fact that they're all comfortable and they're very long lasting. So I don't want to keep repeating myself. The lipstick that I'm wearing today actually. So this is what I've got on here. This is the Milani, what are these called? Oh, this is their like newer lipstick. These are like the ones that went like viral on TikTok or something. But this is their lipstick in the shade Tease. This has really made an impact on lipsticks for this year for me, because this is what we've needed from a drugstore brand for years. Like, even compared to like NYX, like drugstore don't make lipsticks this specific shade. We have always needed this brownie nude with no pink undertones, because this is the thing, right? Drugstore lipsticks, they are always too pink, okay? They're never warm enough for like my skin tone and deeper. Even just fair skin, if you want that brownie nude, you can't really get that with drugstore lipsticks in my opinion, and it's just never been a thing. Non-existent. Now we have it. So yeah, shade is Tease. Everyone go get it, okay? It went viral for a reason. Love. I love it so much. I really like the packaging as well. It's very like luxurious. BFF from Colourpop, and then that Milani lipstick over top. Alright guys, we have one more favourite, one more lip product that if you can't guess this, then we shouldn't be friends. It's here, it's made it, it has made it. This is the e.l.f. and Jen Atkin like lip duo in the shade Bring It On Brown. I don't care for the lip liner because it doesn't match up with the lipstick. Doesn't make sense to me, never did. But this lipstick right here is just it. This is just one of the best toned lipsticks ever. So apart from this, like, this is the brownie nude that again we've always needed, and these have both come this year, alright? So yeah, it's just the perfect. This goes with LA Girl very well. If you've made it, I don't know how long I've been filming for, I think definitely over an hour. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this entire video. I know it's been a long one, but let me know what your yearly favourites have been if you've had any. I hope you've had a good 2021 and I'm hoping that we all have a way better 2022. And I hope you've enjoyed my yearly favourites, all my recommendations. I love doing this video. Like it's probably my favourite video to film of the year. I'm obviously passionate about everything that I'm talking about in the video, so. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys in my next video.